Now, a pro-immigration quango is demanding a Jihadi Bride, currently in a Syrian prison with Shamima Begum, should be allowed the right to return to Britain because she needs NHS healthcare. Here's the question: should Islamists who once vowed to destroy Britain ever be allowed back into our country? Well, let's have a chat about this now with the human rights lawyer Shoaib Khan. Mr. Khan, welcome to the show. I put it to you, when you leave the United Kingdom and you join the Islamic State, whose entire raison d'etre is the evisceration of the United Kingdom, you forfeit your right to ever return.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't agree. I mean, I think British citizenship, or indeed citizenship of any country, has to mean something. Otherwise, what does it mean? And that's something, everyone says, we're so proud, we're British, we're Britain. Every country says that. So what does citizenship mean then if, you've committed an offense? I mean, I would say the worst war criminal, the biggest terrorist in the world. I mean, you are where you're from. If you're German, you're German. If you're Austrian, you're Austrian. If you're, Nigerian, you're Nigerian. I think that's such a ridiculous thing to say, suddenly somehow she's not British anymore. Of course she is. We made her what she is. Whatever happened to her, she went up there and bring her back. Let's see what she has to say for herself. If she has to be punished, she should be punished.
But Home Secretaries have the power, and indeed have used the power, to rescind the citizenship of people like Shamima Begum because they deem that the security risk to the United Kingdom is simply too great. So there you go. Citizenship isn't a God-given right. It can be taken back. In this case, it was. And I think a lot of people will say, well, good, because why would we welcome anybody back into Britain who could still represent a terror threat? You don't know the full picture. I don't know the full picture. Perhaps the immigration authorities do know the full picture. And that's why the best place for her is to remain in a Syrian jail.
I mean, firstly, I think the important thing here, obviously, is that we don't know and you don't know. I think that's the important thing to keep in mind here. But obviously, the judges do, and that's why the judges said that the Secretary of State has to reconsider the case. And secondly, intelligence cases, no.
I'll interject there.
Even MI5 was supporting her case.
No, I'll interject there. This is a decision that's being leveraged. Pressure is being applied on the Home Secretary by the Special Immigration Appeals Commission, a quango set up by Tony Blair's government in 1997. It is a group of judges, you're right, like the Sentencing Council is a group of judges. But how are they applying pressure to a Home Secretary? Nobody votes for these people.
Okay, so you've got that completely wrong then. So basically, it is a court. It's an immigration court, basically. It might be called a commission, but it's basically a court. Those are the judges who decide the case. And they just basically looked at the case, looked at the facts. And the only reason that it's a special court is that because some of the things that they investigate or look into are security sensitive. And therefore, their judgments are not openly published like other judgments are. That's the only, but it is basically a court.
I used to have to use the razor that my ex-girlfriend used to shave her legs. It scratched me and it made me feel weird. But fear not, because Manscaped is back with a game changer. This isn't just any old shaver. We're talking about the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver with two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. One for that baby smooth look and another when you want to keep it a bit rugged. Get this, it's waterproof. You can use it in the shower, by the pool, or even while scuba diving if that's your thing. This beauty runs for 75 minutes on a single charge. That's enough time to shave your face, your mate's face, and still have juice left over for touch-ups. You'll also get their Power Shave Gel for a proper wet shave experience, and a face shave soother to keep your mug looking fresh and irritation-free. It's like having a barber in your bathroom, minus the awkward small talk. Click the link in the description and use the code GBN for a whopping 20% off and free shipping with the code GBN at manscaped.com. Join the 11 million blokes worldwide who trust Manscaped. Your face will thank you, and so will your wallet.
So the court looked at it and said the Secretary of State should look at the case again. And as far as I know, again, the very little we know from the media reports, even I think an MI5 officer suggested, yes, she should be brought back. But also, another huge thing that we seem to be missing here, obviously we're talking about her citizenship, but she has a child, a British child. That child's British citizenship, as far as I know, has not been revoked.
Mr. Khan, she had the child. She gave birth to the child in Syria. You're right, a British mother, so I guess British citizenship via the back door that way. But the child was born in Syria. She made her choice when she joined the Islamic State, a death cult that wants Britain removed from the map and replaced by a caliphate. That was the Islamic State's mindset. She willingly joined it, and now she needs NHS healthcare. Why should British taxpayers pick up the bill for her terrible life decisions?
Because, yes, that's the whole point. It's just a terrible life decision. So, but she's British and I don't. What do you mean by back door? I
The
mean,
terrorist.
I don't know. How are you British? How am I British? Because our mothers were British. I mean, I don't know about yourself,
The
but
child was
obviously
born in Syria.
So what difference does that make? The law says that
Quite a lot.
wherever a British woman gives birth, the child is British, and so it is. Unless we're saying we're making exceptions for Syrians.
So every terrorist languishing in any jail around the world, any Islamist terrorist that wants us gone, simply has to have a child, and you'll welcome them back into Britain.
If they're British, then yes, of course. So that's the whole point. If you're British, then yes. Otherwise, what does British citizenship mean? It stands for nothing, then does it? I mean, because so many serious criminals
in the same way, having a child gets you a lesser sentence in the eyes of the Sentencing Council. You say having a child, if you're a terrorist abroad, should automatically give you a right to return back to Britain. What message does that send out to terrorists across the planet?
The message that sends that British citizenship actually means something. And just because you behave badly, you made the worst decision in the world.
Have a baby and come back. Yeah.
We're not going to take your British citizenship away. Otherwise, what does that? She's not Syrian. Why is she in a Syrian camp? She's got nothing to do with Syria or with any other country. Yes,
well, the baby was born in Syria.
Sorry?
The baby was born in Syria. That makes it Syrian, does it not?
So are you saying he's Syrian? Are you saying every baby born in the UK is British? No, they're not. Because if a Nigerian woman gives birth in the UK, the baby is Nigerian. So
okay. So using your logic, then, say for example, I don't know, an Afghani person has a child in Britain, and lawyers like you would use that as a reason to keep that adult in Britain because the child was born in Britain. The child's suddenly British, except if you're a terrorist and you have a baby in Syria, that child's British. It's not Syrian.
If the parents are Afghan and the child is born, he's not British. That's the law. Of course, we don't have birthright British citizenship in the UK. Of course,
but it's used by lawyers like you all the time to keep people in Britain. Having children is a way of getting a right to remain. It's a commonly used tool.
So are you agreeing with us? Then you're basically saying that's what it should be. Wherever the child is born, he should stay there. That's what you're saying? So just because the child is born in Syria, he should spend his whole life in Syria, in a camp in Syria. And I mean, I don't know how old the child is, but obviously I'm saying that, 10 years old.
Yes, I'm saying that. I'm saying that because the mother made a terrible decision. She joined a terrorist cult that wants us dead, and her child that she chose to have is born in Syria, the country she chose to make her home. I say that child is Syrian.
Well, the law doesn't agree with you. No law agrees, and that's not how the laws of this country work, at least. I mean, I wish I could. Is that basically what you're saying? So an Afghan couple, any couple has a child in the UK, the child must be British. Is that what you're saying? Because the parents made the decision to be in the UK, make the UK their home, and therefore they give birth to a child, and the child must be, so the child's no longer Afghan, he's British now. Is that what you're saying? I don't think that makes any sense.
No. For a matter of simple consistency, I say if you're a British citizen who goes to Syria, and particularly if you're a terrorist, and you have a child in Syria, that child's Syrian, okay? And then if you're an Afghan...
Because the mother's a terrorist, or because it was born in Syria?
A bit of both, but mainly because the child was born in Syria. I don't see why you don't understand that.
Because that's not. Firstly, that's not what the law is. But secondly, is that what you're saying? Anyone comes to the UK, commits an offence here, and then the child is automatically British because you decided to go to another country and commit a crime there. How does that make any sense at all? I'm being told we have to move on.
I think I've made my point resolutely clear. If a child is born in Syria, they're Syrian. I'm being told we have to move on.
Thank you very much for joining us. Around as well. Any child born in the UK is British.
I'm being told I've got to move on. We return to this all the time. My point, seriously, I hope I made clearly there, is that if you come to Britain and you're, say, an Afghani and you have a child in this country, by your reckoning, he's gone. I've been told we have to move on. Did people at home get my point, or was I just talking insanities there? You let me know.